Have you ever felt that the gnawing sense of you as an expert hitting a limit is a lot closer than you'd like to admit? That despite the 40 plus hour weeks you're putting in and paying a lot of money in courses, templates, memberships, you still can't break free to do the work you were meant to do. Yet, the solution isn't creating more digital products, working harder on your business, or building a better PKM system. It's about building a bridge from where you're at to where you need to go, where you can organize your expertise and actually produce the income. And here's what nobody's telling you. Hi, I'm Frank Anaya, creator of and worker of Frank Anaya Co. What you see here is an idea that I'm presenting, which is on being a knowledge entrepreneur. If you're listening to this, you're not a beginner when it comes to knowledge management, when it comes to seeing the value behind your systems and your tools. But what's missing is you are trapped. You see, every day you collect valuable ideas and information that could transform your business. You can't access it because it's trapped in scattered notes, forgotten notebooks, and it's overwhelming to the point where all you're seeing is digital clutter. We keep hearing this thing that says expertise is your most valuable asset. But as you know, without a system to organize it, without a system to leverage it, and without a system to consistently recreate it, you are missing opportunities that limit your scale. Because the truth is, organized does not equal monetized. There's a distinction here between organizing for yourself as a person to what you're doing and delivering for your clients. And to put some context here, complexity versus simplicity. The thinking that it has to be complex in order for it to work, no. Simple always works. The other thing is when everything feels essential versus what everything is, there's a contrast here. And then there's a connection versus conversion. So when you have a right personal knowledge management approach, you actually transform from having your expertise all scattered to being strategic. And when you're strategic, you have leverage because now you're taking steps. You have an asset that's generating income when you're not actively working with clients. There's a distinction, do you know, between collector and connector? Well, the collector just simply cares about getting everything, whereas the connector is actively using this information to be useful to someone else. So that's, for instance, becoming a knowledge entrepreneur, which is not just having knowledge for my sake, but knowledge so that I can serve others, so I can help others in becoming what they need to be. And it isn't really about how much you know, but rather what's in your system and how can you turn that information or into something that can help others, that's income and not just another digital junk drawer. But what are the pitfalls? Let's take a look at those. But first of all, one of the pitfalls we see is that it's too complex for our clients. So we're selling access, not solutions. That's the key point to distinguish. A lot of times what I've seen a lot of people do is they're waiting for the perfect system. You can't wait for the perfect system because it's not coming to you. Unless you actively take the time to work it and start with imperfect. 80% is better than done, right? Better than 100% but not done. And that's how you move forward. Constantly reorganizing. Perhaps you're of the sort who you've invested hundreds of hours and you've built sophisticated systems in your tools, you've organized your notes, you've created beautiful dashboards, you've linked everything, you've reorganized it. But at the end of the day, your income hasn't changed at all. And not just your income, but also your happiness, also the sense of feeling. The problem in itself is not that your system is bad. In fact, I commend you because you've probably gone through courses like Tiago Forte's Second Brain, or you bought the book, you've looked into Zettelkasten, you've looked into a lot of the other output of advice that's out there. But what's happening is, as an expert, you have a unique problem. You are building for PKM systems that matter and not for monetization and client value. So I see this because I work with a lot of people, a lot of consultants, a lot of thinkers who really spend a lot of time to beautify and to make it valuable. But when it comes to the time to explain the value behind these systems, that's where the struggle happens. Your system doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it can really be a symptom for something much deeper, and that is you simply organizing your hobby. So what do we want to do? We want to have solutions that can easily allow you to target what's in your mind and actually extract it, tag it your note-taking system by problem and not a topic. Create modular components, build value pathways, package for specific outcomes. Because the whole point is to be able to move from where you're at to where you need to be. And you're going to do this gradually, not all at once. Extracting what's in your head and putting it into an IP system, then you can create offerings that are connected to these intellectual pieces of advice, and then focus on one asset, one day, one time. All of this while maintaining clients, all of this while building your business and not dropping everything in order for you to build that system. So the challenge here is for so many people, bridging themselves from thinking service to thinking delivery is hard because there's this underlying belief that I have to be working on this all the time. When in reality, it doesn't work that way. There's assets already available to you. So just think about this, client deliverables. You've got processes that you are likely already doing. You've got an onboarding type approach that you do day in and day out. You're using tools, and then you've got meeting notes. But the transformation is when we can take the client deliverable into becoming a product, when you can take a process and make it into a framework, when you can go from onboarding to course creation, right? From a template, assessment tool to a template. And that is when you can define your success. You're building a calendar, you've got predictable income, you've got knowledge leverage, strategic client, business asset. And so that is, in a way, what I believe the knowledge entrepreneur is about and what they're here to do. The difference between a struggling expert and a successful knowledge expert isn't how much they know or how they've organized it, how well they are, or how good they are doing it at this organization bit. But it's if they're being strategic and if they're able to leverage their own joy and make this translate into expertise, into a bank account. So part of this key here is let's start moving away from thinking about things to actually doing them and creating them in a way that adds value.